This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. I am the most handsome man currently in Dublin, Ireland, joined by a man who's doing all right in Sinaloa, Edward John Hearn. How are we, good sir?
I mean, firstly, if you're the most handsome man in Dublin, then I'm not sure what's happened to the Irishmen. Secondly, I haven't seen you for, I don't know, over a month. What is the centre party mushroom that is on your sweet?
Well, you know
How
what?
is that? Is that, do you find that's going well for you or?
Well, I know it's going well for me, Edward, as a start. And what I would say to sort of counter your point is it's a little bit about, like when Beckham was at Manchester United, he started changing the hairstyles, changing the wavelength. That's what we're doing, Edward. We've done short back and
Oh,
stomping. Now
oh
we're
my God.
bringing out the Declan Rice long
Like,
hair.
just want to say, yeah, that comparing you to David Beckham when he was at Manchester United is the most bizarre thing I've ever like. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The front and the arrogance that you now possess to even come out with such a comment is frightening. What is this thing you've done around the side? Is that what the kids call a low taper fade?
This is a low taper fade, Edward. Well
Is it?
done.
Yeah.
Well
It's a bit
done.
low, if I'm honest.
It's too low, are you saying?
I think so, but
Well,
I guess
Bill,
that's what a low taper fade is.
that's exactly what a low taper
So
fade.
you've gone for like low and then just like mushroom.
Low and mushroom. That's what I said to the barber. He said, "What do you want?" I said, "Low and mushroom," and they're absolutely loving it.
Story of your life, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Very quickly, I'm not going to expose your location, but I hear that you've been humbled this week, Edward.
I'm um I'm in the team hotel. That's what, and I'm a team player. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'll say.
I'm sure you're absolutely buzzing. All
I
right.
mean, look, Lost Motches Sinaloa this week, and let's just say I'm fully immersed in the Sinaloan experience here in my hotel.
What have you been doing?
Well, I arrived, uh, so it was a long old trip to get here. So I left on Wednesday. I flew to Mexico City. I arrived at 7 p.m. I left the airport and went straight to dinner. It's like a 12-hour flight. Um, Went to dinner with Mauricio Suleiman. Had a great dinner talking about boxing as a whole, the landscape and the industry. And then I got back to the hotel room at about 11:30. I went to bed at midnight and we set the alarm for 3:45. Me and Shaw Palmer weren't in the same bed, but in the same hotel. And then we went to the airport and flew to Los Mochis at 5:35 a.m. It was a 2-hour flight to Los Mochis. We turned up and we actually went for a run. Me and Sean Palmer done a little 5K around Los Mochis. Did the press conference yesterday. Went out for a little bit of seafood. Woke up this morning. Went to a great strength and conditioning gym actually called Bullies in Los Mochis, and we got the weigh in about an hour. Then we're going to go for a lovely bit of steak tonight with JC, Box Stars and the team, who's the promoters, co-promoters with us of Sugar Nunes. Then we've got the fight tomorrow. Then I'm going to fly home and flying back on Sunday. You don't get back till 10:30 on Monday night. And then I'm going to have a little couple of meetings on Tuesday. And then I'm going to head over to Belfast for the big one, Crocodile.
Well, let's go straight into that. Well, actually, no, before we go into that, let's talk actually a little bit because you've got two shows. I remember speaking to you. How come Frank Smith got, I don't want to say the short straw, but you're in sunny Sinaloa and Frank Smith's up in the north of
Yeah,
England.
it's a tough one, really, because I think right now we have by far the best young stable in the sport. I mean, globally, we obviously have the best stable in the sport. UK, I know there's always the argument who's got the best stable, us and Queensbury, but globally, we're on another level. But right now, in terms of even the UK stable of young fighters coming through, I think ours are second to none. And it was actually a bit of a kick in the. I hate doing shows on the same night. But it was a bit of a kick in the nuts to miss Sunderland because there's a lot of important fighters on that card for us. I mean, firstly, Pat McCormack, who I think is a world champion in the weight-in. Everybody talks about how good this kid is. He's got a tough fight against Para, but not just him. Of course, the likes of Cameron Bong, Sandy Ryan returns. Our younger stars as well, the three musketeers, as I call them, Leo Tang, Tier 8, and Adam Maka. It's a really good show. Next gen style up in Sunderland. But I really feel, and I'm heavily invested in the fact that Sugar Nunes is the next king of Mexican boxing. I truly believe that. I mean, we went to Japan and he got the win over there and against a really tough opponent. I think this guy's the goods. And I wanted to be here because when he won in Japan, I said to him, I promise you, I will deliver you to homecoming in Los Mochis. This is the biggest fight in Sinaloa for decades. And there's going to be 7,000 there, packed out. It's going to be absolutely wild. Mexican Puerto Rico war with Pitufo Diaz and a good night of boxing. So, yeah, hate doing shows on the same night, to be honest with you. But, you know, being the global domination that we are, unfortunately, these things happen, Parsons.
Edward, just quickly, Sinaloa. Now, there's been a couple of trips I've made to Mexico, and I thought, is it going to be moody? It's not moody. The word Sinaloa screams a little bit moody. Is it moody?
Moody, I mean, I love the energy out here. I mean, the energy for boxing is incredible. Um, in terms of moody, do you mean dangerous
Yeah,
or, I mean,
yeah, a bit
yeah,
like
I mean, I think you got to be a little bit smart on your feet. I don't think, but we
that.
went for a run. We went for a run around the town the other morning. Seems like a very pleasant place, but we're with the right people, so that always helps.
Edward's got a couple of security boys with him. Let's go into next week. The small matter of a sold-out Windsor Park with a cracking co-main event as well. Crocker Donovan, how excited are you?
Oh, my ironing's just turned up. One sec.
Oh, no way.
Ah, what's just about this? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can you not iron yourself, Edna?
Oh, not when it's been in a suitcase for about 2 weeks.
Can you not iron yourself?
I'll be honest with you, it weren't the best job in the world.
No.
Um, no. So, where were we? We were talking Crocker Donovan. I cannot wait. Fucking hell. Hang on.
This is the worst interview ever.
Look. Yeah, I've got them. No problem. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Right. Crocker Donovan for me is, I mean, we talk about big fights taking place, throughout the mainland and Ireland and everywhere. This is right up there. Stadium fight, but more importantly, the World Welterweight Championship. I mean, you've got two Irishmen for the first time in history fighting each other for a world title. And look, Carl Frampton's boxed there. Obviously, Ryan Burnett's boxed there recently. And no disrespect to the lower weight classes, I love them myself. But this isn't bantamweight and super bantamweight world titles. This is a welterweight world championship that's going to put you in the frame for massive fights. Conor Benn, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, all of those guys. So it's a massive moment for Irish boxing. You're right, Ishmael Davis against Kevin Ejarko has got a lot of sound bites and noise. I think it's a brilliant fight. Pat Brown's in a great fight. And what about the professional debut of Meatball Molly McCann? Switching over from UFC, it's going to be a big night for her. Tyrone McKenna against Moran rematch, all Irish. Loads of stuff on the undercard. We're down to, I think, the 40s and 60 pounds left now. We're up to about 18,000. I think we'll do 20,000. And it will be absolutely wild. And I can't wait.
It's one of those, I was going to say disappointing. It's not disappointing, but obviously it lands on the other side of the globe the same night as Canelo-Crawford, which in
Hmm.
itself is an absolute super fight. How do you see that one going?
I keep going backwards and forwards. I mean, obviously they're different time zones, so they won't clash. So if you want a great night of boxing, you've really got the opportunity to join us from 7 p.m. and go all the way through. And I think Canelo-Crawford is a fight, um, you know, one of the best fights that can be made in boxing. Backwards and forwards on it, if I'm honest. I mean, my worry is I see the size of Crawford. You know, he looks pumped up, like much bigger, obviously, than usual. And it's very difficult to do that to your body and go in and perform like you always perform. I don't know if that's going to help him or hinder him. Um, I I hate picking against Canelo Alvarez because, you know, I say he's a mate. I respect him a huge amount. We work together. I worry if he's the same fighter at this stage of his career. I mean, let's be honest, both guys are old in terms of, you know, fighters in their prime. What's Crawford? 36, 37. Canelo, but same 36, that's same kind of age, I think. Um, I worry about Canelo's legs. I just, I remember watching the Skull fight, and he was demotivated for the Skull fight, so you can't take too much from it. But I just felt that his legs looked like they were slowing down a little bit. And, can Crawford handle the power at 168? Let's be honest, he didn't look sensational against Madrimov at 154. Like, he's been so inactive. He's been fighting once a year for the last 2 years, 3 years even. Right now, my head is just leaning with Crawford slightly, but I want to see him next week. I want to see him on the scales. You know, the word is that the Canelo camp that he's really trained harder than he's ever trained. In the last couple of years for this fight. That doesn't mean too much. So he should, but it's tough to call at this stage in her career because I think they are both old, and I just don't know who. It's almost like who's getting older quicker. You know? Crawford's been so inactive, and Canelo just hasn't looked sensational. We talk about, will Canelo hasn't stopped anyone, for ages since what Plant, I think, and and before that, Billy Joe with but he has a tendency to not be that aggressive, and I think if he's not aggressive against Crawford, and Crawford can control the fight and use angles and fight in spurts like Bivol did, then I think he's got a great chance.
On the topic,
I would love to see Billy Joe back. I think um, as a boxer, I think he's one of the most talented fighters British boxing seen for some time. The problem is the age and the inactivity. Someone asked me about Carl Froch fighting Darren Till, and it's a bit like that. When you've been out of the ring for so long, and don't forget the last time that Billy Joe fought, he fractured his eye socket. And that was what, 4 years ago, three and a bit years ago. Like, he's obviously not kept himself in great physical condition. It's very difficult to start going back to the gym and doing all the things you used to do all those years ago. And I don't know if he can do it, but I wish him the best. And I would have loved to have seen him return because I still think that I think even now he could do a lot. But it just comes down to whether you really want to do it. If you want to do it, if you really want it badly, you will get to the gym and you will make it happen. That's the reality. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse and you'll find a reason. And I think probably the latter. I just don't know if he wants to do it anymore, you know?
Edward, you mentioned Carl Froch versus Darren Till. I was there. I thought the show was fantastic. Really, really good fun. It's such a talking point. It's all people have been speaking about all week. I find it mad that we're even in the position, but then you look at the bit that Carl did online. He got Mike Ridout on from DAZN, and looks like there's a real appetite for it. I've got the feeling Carl is slightly chomping at the bit to get back in there, and he probably looks at Darren Till and goes, "You know what? Why not?" I mean, are you almost thinking, right, Carl, let's settle things and let's get that promotional agreement back together?
I I don't like all those, firstly, I like Misfits as a brand. I know it gets a lot of criticism sometimes, but I think it's starting to identify itself now as a freak show, right? Mainly. And anything goes. And like, look at that show last week. I mean, I watched it. I didn't know what I was watching. One minute you got some fight where two geezers just can't fight at all. Then you got Joey Essex fighting in an absolute all-out war when they're
Slow
both out on
motion
their
Hagler
feet.
Hearns.
Yeah, but like, and then you go into the group chat, and my mates are like, "This is a joke. These guys can't even fight." It's like that's not the idea. You're putting well-known people in difficult situations, right outside of their comfort zones, and then all of a sudden, Dylan Dennis comes in. There's some MMA fight. He's strangling some bloke on the floor, and then Darren Till's fighting, who's obviously a talented boxer. And so I actually enjoyed the show, but I just think you got to just. I love boxing, and we've just got to educate. It's not boxing. It's just kind of like an entertainment format, but then it's with some boxing thrown in there. So it is misfits, which means it's just a little bit of everything kind of mixed in together. I don't know. With Till and Froch, I don't like ex-fighters, especially legends, going in and fighting some YouTuber, right? Now, Till is not that, right? Till is a UFC fighter who has taken his craft to boxing and he's a talented boxer. I mean, I don't think he's going even by his own admissions, I don't think he can go in and mix it with the best in the world, but he can fight. I mean, you can see that because he's cruising through the levels of those other guys, the UFC fighters who just turn over like Rockhold or whatever his name was, right? I love the fight. I love the fight because, and you know why I love the fight? Because I know Froch, right? And I know this is really on his mind, right? And he's got actually quite a tough decision
Yeah.
because it's like, how long has Froch not boxed for? 10 years?
20. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
2016 the
Yeah.
Groves fight?
No,
No, 2012? No,
Groves was
no,
20,
because AJ was on there. 2014? 2014, something like that,
2014.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about 10 years
Yeah. May
since he's boxed.
2014. Yeah.
Okay, 10 years plus since he's boxed. So 10 years ago, he would have smashed Darren Till all over the shop, right? And I think Darren actually, like, for all Darren's madness, he's not an idiot. I think he knows that. But 10 years on, and not having took a punch in 10 years, and definitely gone a bit softer because that's just life, it all of a sudden becomes, dare I say, a bit of a 50-50, right? And I would just, because it's not like some, I don't know, it's difficult because I think certain people, how old is Cole now? 45?
40.
So
Yeah.
my kind of age, yeah, whatever. I don't necessarily think they should be going back into the ring, but personally, because of the dynamics of it, and because I know Carl, I like the fight. I like the fight, and I
Imagine the
find it
press
quite,
conference.
yeah,
It'd be so good.
no, and but do you want you all? This all comes down to how you feel inside, and that's what Carl Froch, and I'll probably talk to Carl about this. Um, do you really want to do this? Like, you could lose to Darren Till. Do you want the money? All right. Now, Carl's smart with his money. He's made a lot of money. He definitely doesn't need the money, but I think it does well on pay per view. And I think that's always something you've got to consider. So Carl's going to make, I don't know, 3, 4 million, five. So, these are the kind of numbers that he could make for that fight. So, yeah,
Do you see
I
yourself
don't
in?
know. Involved,
Yeah. I see you involved for some reason.
I think that I would be involved for Carl. Like, obviously, we've had our ups and downs over the years, but we always said that when he come back, we would do it together. But that was a long time ago, and I've got no right to be involved. But yeah, I think if Carl decided to do it again, I would like to be part of his team. If I'm like that's just heart on the sleeve,
Is it
you
Misfits?
know?
Is it Pro?
Huh?
Is it Misfits? Is it Pro?
I think it should be a pro fight. Or it doesn't. To be honest with you, it doesn't really
Really
matter, does it?
matter,
I
does
mean,
it? Yeah.
no, but but we can do it. I mean, I've got nothing to do with it. It's no right of mine to say where it should go. But Misfits is a good platform to do. I mean, if I'm Carl Froch, I'm just looking at the numbers and I'm making sure if I decide to do it, I'm making sure I get every penny I deserve. But it is a big fight. I mean, that fight sells out Manchester, Liverpool, Nottingham, London, and I think it does really well on pay-per-view, if I'm honest.
What's the crack with Opetaia already? I saw him on Talksport saying Bilham Smith take the fucking million. But you've also agreed terms with Sin Cara, right, for a fight with
Yeah, so there was a bit of confusion. So, you know, when I spoke to Mick, Francis, and Jai, they really want this WBO title. For some reason, since he started boxing, that is the title that he's most wanted to win.
right.
So yeah, and when he won the world title, the IBF, he said, "I want the WBO to get me the WBO." And obviously, Bilham Smith had it at the time. Then he went and unified against Gilberto Ramirez. Because Ramirez is kind of in recess at the moment, they've ordered the interim title. So Jai's saying, "I'll fight for the WBO interim title. Put me in against Bilham Smith because Bilham Smith's been mandated to fight for that title." But that's very difficult to do when you're already a world champion in another governing body, and also you have a mandatory, which is Sin Cara, which we agreed terms with. So that'll be next for Jai, and we'll do that with Tasman Fighters in November, probably in Australia. And then Jai's, it's a very frustrating process, and there's nothing that he can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Gilberto Ramirez done his shoulder. He had surgery. He's not fighting until next year. Badu Jack's been ordered to fight Michelin, which is a fight that definitely no one wants to see, but it is what it is. So he's got to do a job on Sin Cara, and then we've got to get that unification because people keep talking about Jai moving to heavyweight, and I think he should, and I think he will. But he's got so much more to do and give at cruiserweight. Like this is a guy, he should be unified and he should be undisputed. And then when he is, he can move up. And then if he can become undisputed cruiserweight champion, I think he can fight Usyk because
Still have Usyk.
you exactly what a fight that is. The undisputed heavyweight world champion against the undisputed cruiserweight world champion. But we'll see. Sin Cara's next.
Dalton Smith, you lost the purse bid. I actually caught up with him earlier on in Dublin. I mean, given the split and everything, it was a pretty fair bid. You looked
Good
to,
bid. Yeah, I mean, I know that people for some reason get hard on when we lose a purse bid, and they start sliding in my DMs going, "Oh, you lost a purse bid."
good to see
So,
it's rattled
but
you, mate.
yeah, no, not at all. No, but it's frustrating because obviously some people don't have a brain cell, so it's like trying to explain how you can manipulate a bid when you have the bigger piece. Do you understand? So what you do is you say to Subriel Matias, right, what we're going to do is if you want to do this fight, you taking a picture. Let me just get a good one. Hold on. Cheers. So I'll start again. When you have the bigger end of the purse bid, what you do is you say to that person, Subriel Matias, look, we want to bring this fight to Puerto Rico, right? Give you home advantage. He says, yes, I want the fight in Puerto Rico. I don't want to go to the UK. So what we'll do, Subriel, is we'll cap your purse at, I don't know, $1 million, whatever. And anything we bid above that, we won't actually pay you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you bid 1.9, like they did, it actually is probably more like 1.3 or 1.4, whatever it is. We can't do that with Dalton Smith because he's only on 30%. We actually, and I don't mind saying, we actually went back and bid more than we were going to. And I had that conversation with Dalton Smith, and he agreed to cap his purse as well to go to the UK. But when you're only on 30%, it's a lot harder to do that against the 70% deal. I mean, again, hopefully that seems very simple to me to explain. I know some people might or might not get that. So we bid 1.71 million, which is a big bid. I mean, it's a lot of money. And they bid 1.9 million. And we're off to Puerto Rico by the looks of things. So Liam Paro's gone over there and beat him. And Dalton Smith will do the same.
Edward, I'd love to chat shit all day. I've got to go to the free arena. I've got to hope that this thing has recorded. And
Oh,
you've
if it hasn't, then don't ever talk to me again.
got to speak to
Um,
Panics. But final message to the people: we'll be seeing you in Belfast next week as Small Talk returns at the press conference.
yes, my message to the people next week is tune in. I mean, firstly, when's this going out, this interview?
Either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, good. So double header tomorrow night. Really good show from Sunderland, and then live in Los Mochis for what I believe is the new King of Mexican Boxing World Champion Sugar Nunez. But next week, this is a massive night of boxing. Massive. Windsor Park, 20,000 people, two Irishmen fighting for the world welterweight title. If you haven't got your tickets, be there. Press conference, weigh in, the fight. I want everybody in Belfast.
Your Wi-Fi is all over the gaff, mate.
And you frozen again.
Yeah,
You're all over the gaff.
my
Got to get to the
Wi-Fi is
arena. Good
fine,
fight
mate.
tonight, Conlan against Bateson.
Edward, good talking, Shant.
All right, mate.